What's going on, guys, and welcome to December's episode of Plus Club, the show where we play the games offered on PlayStation Plus throughout the month, and at the end of the month, we talk about it like a book club. My name's Seth. Joining me today, of course, is Chevy. Chevy, we are currently filming right before the new year. It's going to be a whole new year, 2024. Very excited for all the new games, all that stuff. And yeah, as we close out 2023, how you feeling? Are you excited to talk about Lego 2K Drive, PowerWash Simulator, and Sable? And how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Definitely excited for the new year, especially because there's a lot of games just coming out immediately.
Yep. Tekken 8, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. We just looked it up.
Yeah.
Big games.
And then February, I think, is Final Fantasy. So,
Yep.
kind of wild. So,
Which is so... I have to beat Final Fantasy VII Remake to play that, and I have to beat Like a Dragon, which I'm close to the end, I think. But I gotta... Oh, my God. That's the worst thing about like new... all these JRPG sequels that are coming out. So I'm like, fuck, I actually gotta play games and beat them.
Yeah, I gotta do the DLC for Final Fantasy VII still, just to get that part done. But
oh, yeah. I was thinking about just picking up the Ultimate Edition on Steam, because that would be so much easier for me to sit down and play it. And at this point, starting over, I don't think would be a big deal.
No.
Because I played it in 2021, I think.
Yeah, you probably need the refresher anyways.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, this ain't Tastecast.
Yeah. And then played some of these games earlier in the month, so it might be a little hazy on a couple of them, but we'll see how it goes. So
yeah. Have any New Year's resolutions?
I don't do that.
No?
No. I figure if I want to do something, I'll do it in the moment and not, plan it once a year.
I think most people don't have New Year's resolutions. They'll make them, but if they stick to them, we'll see. But yeah, my New Year's resolution is to finish games and not do it all at the end of the year, because I have been finishing games. I just finished Phantom Liberty, and it was fantastic. Check it out if you guys haven't.
I also finished a game. Weird.
Yeah, I've been doing it all last minute because throughout the year I'm just sampling everything, and then whatever sticks I'll play. And then on a personal note, I need to start doing some cardio, because I've been doing mostly weightlifting at the gym, and I've been building muscle, but I need to lose some of the belly.
Cut the snacking out. I've been snacking again. So.
Yeah, so already going to the gym. That's not going to be the hard part. I just got to start working on the not eating delicious breads and stuff. So yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, before we talk about Lego 2K Drive, PowerWash Simulator, and Sable, which are the games we played in December, I think we should probably reveal, in case you guys don't know, that A Plague Tale: Requiem, Evil West, and Nobody Saves the World are our games for January 2024. Seems like we're starting out pretty strong on PlayStation Plus. What do we think?
I think I need to watch a video on Plague Tale's story, because I didn't beat the first game.
I neither.
It's going to be a little rough to play sequel if I don't know what's going on. But it should be interesting. Hopefully, if I remember right, the first game was a little, like, it was a cool game, but like it played a little, I guess, janky is that what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it was like almost good, but also kind of janky, but the story was really interesting.
Yeah.
And so I never went back to play it because the gameplay wasn't as exciting as like the story itself. But I heard this one has improved on almost everything.
Good.
And I guess it's great. Like, people loved it.
That's good, because I thought the first one was super interesting. I just wasn't really enjoying playing.
Yeah, I was instantly interested. Like, as soon as I started playing, I was like, pretty intriguing.
I don't know anything about the other two games at all, other than I know you own Evil West.
Yep.
So,
Evil West is a third-person shooter. It's 2-player co-op. You basically use like cowboy weapons with magic.
Okay, interesting. And then what's Nobody Saves the World?
It's a top-down game, I believe. Other than that, I don't know. I've seen it a lot on Steam. It's been recommended to me a million times on Steam, but I've never played it, never pulled the trigger.
Like,
so
top-down dual joystick game, or
I don't know.
Okay,
we're gonna have to find out.
Yeah. All right.
But Nobody Saves the World, so I guess
I haven't played any of them, so I'm looking forward to that aspect of it.
Yeah, this is an interesting one for me as well, because two of these games I haven't played, and one of them I've barely played. So this will actually be kind of a fresh month for me, because as you guys know, I play a lot of games, and so a lot of times there's a good chance I've played one or two of the games on PlayStation Plus when we get them. But I always enjoy getting the ones I either haven't ever played, never heard of, or thought about picking up but never pulled the trigger. So this is very much one of those months. Nobody Saves the World is a game I don't know what it is apparently, but I've seen it a million times, so I'll be happy to finally try it out and not having had to go out of my way to go buy it. Plague Tale Requiem, I should be really excited to try it out because I thought the first one was really good, but we already discussed, but I never beat the first game, so it's gonna be kind of weird playing this. But I think I'm also gonna do the same thing you did, or you're thinking of doing, and just kind of catching up on what happened in the first game. Because if I'm being honest with myself, I don't see myself going back and playing through it completely, just because the gameplay was pretty meh. But it had a lot of potential, so I'm hoping this game will kind of make up for that. But we'll talk about that, of course. And then Evil West, I'm really excited to finally try because I bought that to play co-op with Sarah. We never did that, so I played it a little bit by myself. And it seems like a decent shooter, so it would be cool to play that co-op. Although I think one of the hang-ups that a lot of people had with it is the person hosting's progression is the thing that matters, and so the person who's playing with them has all their progression. So it is basically a single player game where somebody's accompanying you through it, as opposed to a game where like you're leveling and progressing on your own shit.
Yeah.
So that's a little archaic, a little disappointing. Maybe they've patched it since I heard about that, but we will find out. But overall, I'm really excited for this month. I think all three of these games sound solid to me. So yeah. Anything else? All right, let's know in the comments, what do you guys think about the new games being released in January? Plague Tale, Requiem, Nobody Saves the World, and Evil West. Are you excited? Not excited? And yeah, let's jump into the games we have played in December, though. And those games were Lego 2K Drive. I always forget the name of that game. PowerWash Simulator and Sable. I figure we can just start with Lego 2K Drive. If you didn't get a chance to play that, let me do this. It's basically Forza Horizon but Legos. You race around different locations in a Lego world with Lego vehicles that change if you go on water, drive off-road, drive on roads. Your car will change the way it looks. There's different activities, different race types to do around I keep wanting to say it's like an island, but it's not really. It's just zones. There's a story, but I didn't really follow it. I was just playing it to race. It has a lot of the destructibility you expect from a lot of the Lego action games where you hit shit and Legos just fly everywhere. And it has a pretty robust custom car editor or vehicle editor that allows you to take individual Lego pieces, all the ones from my childhood. I was looking for specific ones I remember from when I was a kid. I'm like, do they have this? Do they have this? They have a lot of them in which you can sit there and build a car. And I decided after about an hour of working on a car that I can't spend my life doing this. So I stopped. But yeah, basically it is a free form, choose what you want to do racing game with a bunch of activities. Get a little reminiscent of like Diddy Kong racing and stuff like that back in the day. Mario Kart-esque in some of the races. Other races feel kind of like Forza Horizon. And yeah, we both played it. And let's start with you when it comes to your impressions of Lego 2K Drive. Jesus Christ, what that name just does not stick in my brain. Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Yeah, so I didn't really have like a whole lot of expectations for it, but I did kind of expect it to just kind of be baseline fun, because usually Lego games are just baseline fun, and that proved to be true with this game. Honestly, the only hang up I had with the whole game was in order to access all the features, I had to go through the steps of making an account, which I thought was annoying, but
I already had one, luckily, so
I did not. So I had to do that real quick to unlock all the features and stuff. But that aside, the game's a nice little suite of activities to do. Essentially, it looks as you would expect a Lego game to look. It's clean. It has that like kind of silly charm to it, especially like in cutscenes with the little Lego people and stuff like that. You brought up the customization. I kind of did that right off the bat just to kind of check it out. Realized that it was going to take forever.
Yeah.
And though I appreciate that, I didn't have time for that.
And it is worth mentioning, too, if you don't want to make your own vehicles, you do unlock other people's vehicles. Yes. So you can have, different vehicles without having to put the time in to do the customization.
Yeah, it effectively has like a loot box / gotcha system to get cars.
And when you beat certain rivals, you'll get their car.
Yeah, and I just opted to use the cars I unlocked as I played. Yeah, so you kind of brought up, but it kind of has a choose your own path sort of thing going on. I didn't do a lot, but I did a few activities. I did the Mario Kart racing type thing, and it plays pretty good. It's kind of hard to when you have something like Mario Kart and even Diddy Kong, Diddy Kart or whatever, to compare to. But I think they did a pretty decent job of it. Yeah, let's see. I also did what's that called? Like a destruction hit the target. I don't know what to call it, but basically I had to hit like 20 or 30 targets of sort. It was also kind of teaching you to drift at that moment as well. I did that, and then yeah, just kind of mess around with the couple of the features. I didn't put a lot of time into it, mostly because I got my opinion pretty quickly on it. I appreciate the game a lot. I think it plays well. It looks good, stuff like that. I'm just not a huge fan of racing games, so it's hard for it to like hook me. That includes big racing games as well, like Forza and Gran Turismo and stuff like that. I just can't really stick with them. I thought it played well. It looked nice. It had a lot of stuff to offer, but ultimately didn't really. I didn't really want to keep playing it, I guess is where I'm getting to it. So, but yeah, it was good. It was fine.
So I'm gonna jump in and kind of just agree exactly with what you just said. I actually was impressed with how robust this game is, how well it played, the variety, the car customization, be able to build your own cars like that alone. I was like, whoa, shit, this is actually kind of crazy. But this game runs into a similar issue that The Crew ran into for me, in the sense that it obviously is inspired by a better game. And so when I play a game like this, and I think this is better than The Crew and The Crew 2, when I play a game like this, I just think about how much I would rather go play Forza Horizon, because it's just like a better game in most ways. Or like if I'm doing like the Mario Kart stuff, I think about how I could go play Mario Kart or some other game that's already established that does it better. So it does everything really well, just doesn't do it in a way that feels like you need to play this instead of that. The thing that kept occurring to me as I played this is I was like, this would be a fantastic game for kids, and it's definitely meant for family, but if you had a kid who's like super into like wants to play racing games, it's like the perfect game for a kid, because they can just drive wherever the hell they want. Shit's breaking and blowing up everywhere. Doing missions is really simple. The tutorial's very simple. It really kind of holds your hand on how to do everything. And races are pretty much to the point. You just drive and crash into each other, and it's just chaos. So it feels like a really good game to just kind of sit your kid in front of if you want them to play a game or something, or if they want to play a game, not if you want them to. It sounds like you're trying to have it babysit them or something.
iPad kid.
Yeah, which I'm not super stoked on. So that's why I'm trying to reframe the way I'm saying that. Yeah, so the game is clean looking though. Again, I keep bringing up, the most impressive thing about the game was the customization. I did sit there for like an hour and fuck around with it, and I didn't even complete the project. I was like, whoa, I would have to be into this game to justify putting this much time into working on my car, because I know after this, probably not going to play it again. But the racing's good. It's super precise and really easy to race. There's no physics in this game that make it feel like a sim or anything like that. It's very responsive in how you move your vehicle when you're racing. I do like the variety. I think that's its biggest strength as well, outside of the customization, is you're constantly doing different things. And so like when you think it's Mario Kart, it's not. When you think it's just a racing game, it's not. When you think it's just like an activity mini game, it's not. And that's cool. I also like, although it's kind of cheesy looking, but it's also kind of neat that they did at all, the 3 vehicle types as you're driving. When you're driving on, when you drive on a road, you're in like a race car, sports car looking thing. And then when you drive off road, you're all of a sudden on a quad. And then when you drive into water, you seamlessly just transition into a boat. And the reason I say it's cheesy is because like it's just kind of weird to see that just instantly transform. But how seamless it is, and how again, variety. The variety it adds is really neat. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And as you collect other people's cars, you can like set this for your boat, or set this for your street car, set this for your off-road car or vehicle, and it's a pretty neat system. What else to add? I did. There was a mission where it's like, find this guy outside of this building. And it kind of reminded me of doing a barn find in Horizon. It drove me fucking nuts because it's like he's outside of this building with this thing. I'm like driving around this town. I'm just like, where? And like, so it's neat. It even has stuff like that. But basically, it just reminded me, like I said, of the barn find thing in Horizon. Yeah, I don't know what else to add. It's a pretty straightforward game.
Yeah, for sure.
Overall, yeah, it's an arcade racer slash kart racer slash Horizon style game. So if you're into that, check it out. Quick recommendation. And I enjoyed it, but I don't think I'll come back to it. It's solid for sure, though. I think people would like it. And also kind of remind me of that Hot Wheels game we played, where I was like, this is better than I thought it'd be.
That.
Yeah. Kind of want to try out that second one just because the first one was.
I think I prefer the Hot Wheels game.
I do too. I think that felt closer to an arcade racer first and like a kids game second, whereas this feels like a kids game sandbox racing game first and like a competent racer second. So yeah, but nothing against it. That's what I think. It's cool. It's a cool enough game. Although, again, I'm never super into the Lego games, but I always appreciate them. So,
true.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, so I'll jump into recommendations. If you like any of the Lego properties when it comes to their games, I would recommend it to you. You'll appreciate a lot of the stuff they do here. I was actually surprised on how much that translated over to a racing game. If you like racing games, if you like arcade racers, if you like Mario Kart, if you like the open world nature of the Horizon series, I would definitely recommend it to you, especially if you've played all those and you're looking for something new. This could definitely be good for that.
Or the fact that this is on PlayStation.
True. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Because otherwise you got like The Crew 2, and I'm not a big fan of that game. So, yeah. If you like not just customizing your vehicles, but building your own vehicles, this game offers that. And if you were like me when you were a kid and you used to build stuff with Legos, it will definitely give you some nostalgia. That was probably the most interesting thing for me is when I was going through all the pieces. I was like, holy shit, they got this piece, they got this piece, they got this piece. So yeah, if you like the idea of building a Lego car or vehicle, I don't know if you're going to get that anywhere else. So this is for you. Any recommendations?
Family friendly and low stress.
Yeah, there was no stress in this game. No, that's not true. One of the races I was doing, I got in a third place in the last lap. I was like, what the fuck? I got real competitive all of a sudden.
I would say that sounds like more of your competitiveness than the game.
I was like, I'm not kidding third place. Are you fucking high? Yeah. Let's jump into grades. I will grade it. Okay. I'm gonna give it a solid B. Giving it a B. It does everything it needs to confidently. It doesn't do anything new or crazy interesting, but it's good. It's good all around. And even though I'm not going to return to play it, I can recognize that it's a solid game. And I think anybody who like bought this or got it on PlayStation Plus, has a solid game to play, and that's good. So it does arcade racing and Mario Kart racing, well, just not better really than any of like the best ones out there. So, but it's not bad. I've played plenty of like bad kart racers, bad arcade racers. I'm sitting here talking about how an Ubisoft game that should be fucking great is worse than this game. So, yeah, solid B.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the account making in the beginning, I don't really have any complaints with the game. But I do agree that it just kind of reminds me of other things and not as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a B+. I do think it is a solid game that has no issues and plays fine. And honestly, pretty much anyone could pick up. So
easily, yeah.
It's just not my game. So yeah, I'll give it a B+.
All right. So that's a B and a B plus. Pretty solid grades there. Let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about Lego 2K Drive? Did you play it? Did you not play it? If you didn't play it, why didn't you play it? And if you played it, what was some of your favorite things about it? And what are other games within this like open world, do what you want genre of racing would you recommend? What are the good ones out there? And if you like the crew, no insult meant with what I said, but I just do not like that series. All right, let's jump into the next game. Let's do PowerWash Simulator next. If you didn't get a chance to play PowerWash Simulator, it is a simulator where you power wash a bunch of different things for money.
Very straightforward.
Yeah, you got a power washer. You go to stages, whether those are houses, firehouses, vehicles, like a golf cart or like a vintage car, and you take your power wash equipment and you wash it. Basically, now it sounds very simple, but basically it just tickles your monkey brain because you see the dirt, and then the dirt goes away, and you're like, oh, I like that, and you just keep getting rid of the dirt off of things. As you progress, new challenges arise, like the size of buildings and rust and stuff like that, which makes you have to think just a little bit more to how to get rid of it. And then there's upgrades. You can change the way your character looks. You can upgrade your equipment so you are more efficient at power washing. There are soaps that nobody seems to want to use. I used it. I was like, why would I use this? So maybe I'm using it wrong. And it's got multiplayer. It's got 2 to 6 players, depending on what stage you're playing. The base campaign is 2-player co-op. And then there are other bonus stages that are 6-player, which is kind of interesting. I'd like to try that out, although I don't know if I know 6 people who would play this. Yeah, that's about that. We both played it. I'll jump into my impressions of it. This is my first time playing this. This is a game that I have for a long time heard good things about, and I've always kind of understood why people like it because I've seen it. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Kind of has like a Zen thing going on. I just never have picked it up, and so when I found out we were going to be playing this on PlayStation Plus, I was actually pretty excited because I finally have a chance to play it. And I have to because obviously the obligation I put on myself for the channel. And yeah, it's everything I thought it'd be. It's very satisfying. It's a very good way to lose time. It's a very good game to knock out my podcasts while I'm playing a game too. So it's a good multitask game. It's a really good after work game. It's got multiplayer, which makes it even better. And yeah, I enjoyed the game. I mean, I'll dive into more details, but basically that's about it. Like it's such a simple premise. It's fucking ridiculous. Like you start out and it's like clean this. I'm like, okay. And I scroll and like eventually it's complete. You make some money and you keep going forward. I played this for a couple hours on PlayStation. I got pretty far into it, although some of these, especially on a controller, holy shit. It's not like me, I'm not going to dock anything because of the controller, but this game, if you got a mouse and keyboard, you want to play it on there because it is a different experience. You guys are seeing in my footage right now how robotic I'm moving because I was trying to think of systems I could do with the controller to be more efficient at cleaning. And so like I would line up the cursor and I would just like strafe left and right like a robot with the controller. And the whole time I was like, man, I gotta finally pick this up on PC. And I did, not part of the review, but we have been playing on PC lately too. So it got me to go buy it. But yeah, the PlayStation experience, it looks clean. It's a lot of these simulator games, some of them, like I said a lot and then some, but some of these simulator games look kind of janky. This game's actually pretty clean looking. I was surprised. It's like, I'm also, oddly enough, really impressed with their dirt technology they have in the game. I'll like look at shit and I'm like, how'd the dirt get in there?
Yeah.
It's like, everything just has a random coating, and it just makes me think like Mount St. Helens went off and like a fucking mud flow went over this house and then they dug it out. Now I got to clean it because it's like in every fucking crevice. I was doing the boot level today and I had almost everything done. And I was at 99%. In this, as you clean, it gives you thankfully, gives you things like, oh, this wall's complete. Oh, this window's complete. Oh, this thing's complete. And then we get to 99%. It gives you a little checklist of the things you're missing, but it doesn't tell you exactly where they're at. And so I'm doing the boot, and I can't figure out where the fuck I haven't cleaned yet. But because it's a boot house, there's like shoelaces. There's, I forgot what they're called, but the metal holes that the shoelaces come through, you got to clean those too. Like everything is an individual piece.
That doesn't matter.
Everything's an individual piece you have to clean. Even the playground we did, the floor paddings that were different colors counted as different pieces that we had to clean individually, which was really interesting.
It's for people's sanity, but yeah.
100% it is. 100% it is. I appreciate it because when you clean like the red area, I was like, oh, cool, that counted as a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I forgot where I was going. Oh, just sometimes like there's just like a speck of dirt or a speck of rust somewhere, and you like really got to go fucking find that shit. And it's satisfying when you find it, but when you can't find it, it's so annoying. I'm like, oh my God, where is it? Yeah, the upgrades are cool. Your power washer, your base one, is basic. It's like a medium range one. You have nozzles that change from like the more narrow the stream, the more pressure. The more wide the stream, the less pressure, but the more coverage. So you have to kind of cycle through all those to clean as efficiently as you can. I typically use the very first wide nozzle because that's the highest pressure and it's a little wider than the thin stream. There's also one that kind of twirls the nozzle and it kind of like gives you a little bit of spinning coverage as you're washing. I use that sometimes too for like crevices, but yeah. But you can buy like extended nozzles so you can shoot from further away, kind of like a sniper, and then a close range one. So if you're in tighter quarters, you can get really good pressure at close range. So different ways to go about the job. And then there's soaps you can buy for like plastics, glass, all sorts of stuff. I used the soap for glass, and basically it gives you this circular shotgun pattern of area you shoot with the soap. And it seemed like it was kind of disintegrating everything that I was spraying, but it didn't seem that much faster. So if there's a trick to that, let me know in the comments. Because otherwise I was like, with a mouse, I just go real quick, and then with the soap, I'm sitting here just shooting in a wider pattern, but I'm just kind of like waiting for things to dissipate. So I don't get it. We played the co-op, but not on console. But I'll just mention, in case you're curious, it works well. We didn't have any issues. It does exactly what you want. People just join, you just play. And if you have a chance to play this multiplayer, I would definitely recommend it, because the game by itself, especially if you're just like willing to spend an hour or two cleaning something in a game and you have like a podcast or music you want to listen to, it's great solo play if you just kind of want to zone out. But if you're worried about efficiency and trying to get things done in a meaningful and timely manner, play with your friends, because it's so nice that I'm working on one part of the house, and even though it scares the shit out of me, the thing's going ding ding every time something gets completed. It's nice that things are getting completed as I'm working on things. So this game didn't need multiplayer, but it does, and it's better for it. So I'm really happy about that. Yeah, I'll continue to play this. Not on console. I prefer it with a mouse, but I did buy it. I have been playing it. Played it earlier today, and yeah, I'll keep playing it because I knew it was going to be good. I already get why it was good. I kept looking. I'm like, I don't need that in my fucking life. And now I've played it. I'm like, yeah, it's a really good game for certain circumstances. Like I said, come home from work, you just kind of like, I don't have the energy to play the finals right now. My brain's just not working that way. I'm not competitive right now. I'm going to spray water on a house and just listen to something. It's great for that. So solid game. Definitely cool. And I'll keep playing it.
Yeah. I've played this in the past. I bought it. I don't even remember how long ago at this point, but I bought it on PC, and I had played it co-op before. I'm pretty far into it. I never did beat it. I had intended to, but the maps get huge and take a long time. So, that being said, my console experience with it, very similarly, I think the controller feels a little off, but that's definitely a preference thing. That's not a knock at the game.
Two things I want to add real quick since we're talking about the controller. I forgot. There is a mode where your character will stay stationary, but you can move your arm to spray things. And then one thing I tried, I didn't even talk about, is you can use the motion controls of your controller, and you can turn that on and off as you're playing, which I did. Every once in a while, I'd be playing with the sticks, and then for more intricate movements, I think you hold L1, I think, to turn it on if you have it turned on the options, and I would use the controller and just, you know, get certain things. So it's kind of a cool supplementary thing, but I don't think I could play the whole game like that.
Yeah.
But there's options.
I did not try that one, but I did take advantage of the locking your character in place and just moving your arm a couple of times. Very situational. It's hard to explain, but you'll play and you'll get into like spots where you realize that strafing isn't going to help your angle very much. So it's nice to be able to just like lock in place and just work on something without moving the screen. So
Yeah.
The game, like you said, is super straightforward. And it's not, I don't want to get in recommendations too early, but it's definitely not for everybody. But
it's basically one step above. The screen is black. You have a white marker. Get rid of the black, on the screen. I mean, it's so straightforward
for sure. But like you said, for if you're task oriented, I think is the best way to put it. Game scratches the right part of the brain, and I am very much a checklist kind of guy, and the game treats every task like a checklist. Like you had brought up, when you finish a section, it'll blink blue real quick. You get that ding sound that basically is like you're done with this, and you get a little bit of money for it. It's because the cost of the payment of the job is broken up between all the parts that you clean, and so you don't have to finish the job to get paid. Though obviously you want to finish it for completion's sake, to unlock new levels and stuff like that. But if you're just trying to unlock something, you don't have to wait till the mission's done. You just have to get enough money. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is nice because I've just bought things as we're playing, as I was like, oh yeah, I could probably use that right now.
Yeah. I think the only real like janky part of the game is ladder placement.
And going up them.
Yeah, it could be improved, and I don't expect a lot. It works fine, but sometimes I'm just sitting there like trying to put the ladder down, and you like move a little bit too far, and it turns yellow when it's placeable, and blue is where it can be placed, and it'll be yellow. I'll click, but then I'll have moved a little bit, and all of a sudden it goes back to where I found it. And I gotta walk back and grab it again. So that's probably the biggest frustration I have. But other than that, I usually I play this game just to kind of check out and, like you said, zen out a little bit. It's also a good multiplayer game for either hanging out or, if you're just trying to knock out a big level as well. If it's just like the downside of the multiplayer is similarly to something we mentioned earlier with a different game, but it is based off the host's progression, and so you can't bring your if you've beaten the game, you can't bring your crazy tools into someone else's game. You have to play with whatever they have.
I kind of like that though, because it would suck if you showed up and you just were able to get my shit done quickly, because I wouldn't be able to appreciate the build up.
Sure, but it's worth noting that you are playing on the host's terms. So, I would recommend also, unless you like the quiet, maybe listen to something while playing this though, because the game is like creepy quiet when you're playing it.
Yeah, there's like ambient neighborhood noises and really high pitched white noise, fucking water constantly. I had to, when we played co-op, turn down, and they know because I went into the audio options and there's a water sound effect slider. I turned it down to like 30%. Because like at first I couldn't hear what the fuck you were saying to me. Because all I hear is the whole time. I was like, oh god, I gotta turn that down.
Yeah. So I don't know what else I can really add to it. It is definitely a game for me. But if someone were to tell me they didn't like it, I get it.
I don't get it. How can you dislike this game? I get if you don't want to play it because you're like, that looks stupid. Cool. But if you've played it, are you being dishonest? If you say you don't like it, I feel like this just goes to the very core of what it is to be a human. I
think a lot of people probably agree with you.
It's a fucking 3D coloring book.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just fill in the lines. That's it. It's as basic as it gets, but you get paid. It's perfect.
And subtle little sound effects to tell you the job well done.
Yeah.
Also, I think the maps, start off real basic, but they start getting like super creative and interesting.
I like how varied they are.
Yeah.
I like how it's not just like different size house, big house get bigger.
Yeah.
It's also like vehicles because there's like little intricate nooks and crannies you got to clean. It's super satisfying to like do the car and do like the hubcaps and the tire and then like you know, the grill and all sorts of shit. Like it's and then you know, do a house that's like 2 stories, do a fucking park. Like it's got a really good like variety of
a fantasy boot.
A fantasy boot. It's like it's like an Airbnb house, but it's like a fucking boot. Yeah, and then there's like bonus maps too that you said you haven't really done.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, the thing I appreciate is that they've done collabs. Though their first collab was really easy because Square's the publisher. But there's Final Fantasy VII stuff you can clean. There's SpongeBob
cool.
stuff you can clean,
Which is cool.
There's all sorts.
Back
of
to the Future.
Stuff. Yeah. So just kind of neat because like you can literally collab with anything. It's as long as there's objects that are related to the IP, you can just clean it. Like so.
Yeah, they should do more because it's basically just can we build a character model based off your property and cover it in mud?
Because I'm pretty sure like you clean SpongeBob's house, for example. Like,
which would be
that's
cool.
The one in that one, or like you do. I think it's the Buster Sword, maybe it's his bike. I can't remember, but yeah, there's
some kind of like Final Fantasy mech thing in one of the pictures.
Well, I'm sure there's multiple things.
Yeah.
I just don't know them all because I haven't tried it yet. But need to do that at some point. But I want to get through the campaign at some point.
Are those free or pay for?
I don't know.
I thought some of them were free, but
they might be.
I don't know.
I'd be surprised if the Final Fantasy ones weren't free just because it's the same publisher. But I don't know. I don't know. I also know Square likes to charge money for their stuff. So
it's advertising for them. So it's a good investment.
But yeah, you know, it is. The game is what it is, and if you're thinking about it, or you know, we're kind of holding off on it, you know, I guess we can move into recommendations, unless you have something else to say.
Nope.
I'd say give it a shot. It is definitely exactly what you think it is. So, though I would say, you know, since you got it on PlayStation Plus, just try it anyways. Maybe you'll find out you're into cleaning stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, thoughts?
For recommendations, if you like task oriented gameplay, check this out. If you like co-op gameplay, check this out. If you like coloring books, check this out.
I never even thought of that, but it's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, you're just filling in the lines basically. If you actually like pressure washers in real life and power washing things, this game was made for you. So you probably already picked it up. But if you haven't, this is me telling you that this is your game. If you like some of the properties they've collaborated with, it might be kind of neat to play this game for that. If you are like a Back to the Future nerd, because there's a lot of them. A lot of people I mean, those movies are cool, but there's some people who just like fucking really love those movies. I'm sure you'll be cleaning the DeLorean. I don't know what else you'd be doing. Final Fantasy, SpongeBob. I mean, it's all cool properties to be cleaning. So if any of those sound cool to you, check it out. If you like relaxing Zen games, I would recommend this as well. It's a really good chill game to play with progression. So there is something you're working towards outside of just playing something to keep you busy. Yeah.
I think that's about it. The big one is definitely, I think, the task oriented thing though, because like completing the things in a checklist format, that's what's doing it for me. So
yeah, it's funny because the first time I played, I was basically getting the controls down, but I just walked up, started spraying, and Sarah's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm just like checking out how the spray works and how like cleaning works and stuff like that. But like after that, task orientation, I would like look at the porch and be like, I'm gonna start with the porch, I'm gonna complete the porch, then I'm gonna move to the door, then I'm gonna move to the window, then I'm gonna get all the windows done, then I'm gonna get this wall knocked out. And the game's set up to check those things off as you complete them. But like in my brain, I was like, I have to do this way because I'm gonna go fucking insane if I don't.
Yeah.
Like it's like good. There's like this low lying stress in my brain of like doing it correctly, but it's like a good stress. It's not like I'm stressed out like I'm fucking losing a game or something like that. So. But it's relaxing. I promise it's relaxing. Just for me, my brain, I'm just like, I gotta do this right. Once you start playing, you can't stop. It's fucking annoying. Like I'll be like, yeah, I'll just go in there and spray a couple things. I'm like, I just keep going and going and going.
Yep.
It's really weird. It's like cookie clicker shit, dude. Something there is just really satisfying. Done with the recommendations? Okay, so let's jump into grades. I'll go. Or no, wait.
I think I'm
You
up.
go first. Yeah.
I mean, for what it is, I think it is fantastic. There is a little bit of room for improvement, and obviously, just more, co-op options and stuff like that. Even though they're very generous about it, so I'm not complaining. Though it does everything I want it to do for what it is. So I'm gonna give it an A minus. I think it is a very fun game, but that is obviously, subjective. So
Sure. A minus. I was not expecting that. It's solid though. And it doesn't really have a whole lot of competition, so it kind of stands on its own in terms of what they're doing. I'm gonna give it a B plus, which is it feels weird to say that, but like what they're aiming to do, they do it exactly how they should be doing it. It feels right, and beyond that, it works. You play it, and it just like there's something primal there that you just have to keep playing it, and because they figured that out, even in their advertising, they're like, oh yeah, play it, super relaxing, all this stuff. And so they even know it's like a Zen style game. Of course they made it, but I feel like sometimes when people develop things, they kind of lose track of how the customer is going to take it. And yeah, it does that. They nailed it. So I haven't really played a game like it and satisfying in the way that it is. So I gotta give it a B plus. I don't know if I'm ready to give it an A yet, just because I haven't beaten it, but I get it. Especially if this it works for me, but if it really works for you, I could see somebody really liking this game, and for its simplicity and the satisfaction. It's a very satisfying game to play, which is not typically a word I use in gaming. So yeah, it's really weird. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, so B plus, A minus. Let us know in the comments, what do you guys think about PowerWash Simulator? Did you play it or not play it? And if you didn't play it, why did you play it? And if you have played it, what are some of your favorite things about it? Maybe there's some features that we didn't mention that you want to bring up. What are your favorite maps? What's your favorite nozzles? Do you use them all? I don't. And yeah, let us know what you think about the comments below when it comes to PowerWash Simulator. Last game we played in December was Sable. Sable, if you didn't get a chance to play it, is a cell shaded adventure game. I think it's cell shaded. The main character is like cell shaded, moves at like 18 frames per second or something. Very interesting looking. You guys can see it on the screen. In which, if I remember correctly, because I played this early in the month and I wasn't really paying attention to the story a whole lot, I think it's like a coming of age story. You're like a kid who has to go through some kind of ritual. The gliding. You have to do the gliding to get a mask or something, I think. And to do that, you explore a desert world where you access locations looking for parts. You end up building a vehicle and driving it around the desert, talking with random NPCs. The game has very interesting visual style and decent music. It's got like some whimsical stuff going on. Kind of reminds me of like a Journey-esque style game, because there is no, unless there is later in the game, I didn't beat this. There's no combat as far as I can tell. It's straight up an adventure game with very minor puzzle solving. Very minor. You can also climb up everything, which is kind of a cool little feature. And yeah, you just wander around, you look for stuff, you put stuff together, and work your way towards the gliding. I guess I never did it. I never finished it, but I put a couple hours into it, and I think it's your turn for impressions. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it.
This game is 100% not for me. I'm not a fan of the art style. Not a fan of deserts at all. I hate the frame rate thing they're doing. It's really jarring to watch when I'm playing it.
I thought the game was lagging at first, but then I stopped.
It just feels like constant lagging.
I stopped, and then I looked at the world, and everything's moving super smooth. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's just the character. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I get it's artistic direction or whatever. It's just not clicking in my brain for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember the music, to be honest. So I don't know if it was good or bad. I just kind of toned it out apparently.
It's whimsical.
Controls are fine. Like they do what they're supposed to do. The game structure, of just kind of wandering around, talking to people, doing objectives, solving small puzzles, stuff like that. It's fine, though. I think the traversal, though they give you the tools, doesn't feel that great. Specifically when early on when you have to jump over to this other platform with this person. I don't know how they got up there. Of course, I guess you're getting up there. You have to talk to them. You have to go leave, do a thing for them, and come back to them again. And they're just, I don't know. It just felt annoying. And I get it. They're trying to emphasize being able to get around the way that the game intends you to, but I don't know. It just didn't feel good. And then, as far as story goes, I kind of checked out because I was already just not enjoying myself playing it. So I don't really have a lot of positive things to say about the game, unfortunately. I don't even necessarily think it's bad. I just don't think I'm the audience for it. Because I don't have any, how do I word this? Systematic thing or game breaking things that were bothering me or anything.
I literally broke the game.
Wow. And we can get to that obviously when you do your impressions, because I remember you saying that to me, but I didn't run into that experience. I just don't think the game style works for me. I don't like games like Journey and stuff like that either. I brought that up in the
You also
before.
are not the biggest fan of open world games,
and I'm not a fan of open world games. Yeah, so I just think.
And to be fair, for anybody who didn't play, it's not actually open world. It's zone based, but you can go in different directions to get different things. And so the lack of, even though it does tell you the direction to go on your radar thing, it is a little freeform. And so if you're looking for more of a linear experience, and you're already not enjoying this game, and then offer something that you're typically not into, I could see why that would also add, more reasons for you not to be into it. Also, you're not really doing a whole lot in terms of action. You're just climbing, jumping, floating with your orb.
Which isn't too big a deal. We just got done talking about PowerWash Simulator. You're not doing a lot in that either. But
it's an interesting contrast that they're both kind of these simplistic games. That I guess all three of the games this month were simplistic, but I mean that with all due respect. But one just really works because of the completion aspect of it, and one, I think, in my own personal opinion, works once you've completed certain things, but it is more of a vibe. Like when you're playing Sable, the whole experience is the journey of going from one place to another. But I could see why somebody would not be into that.
Yeah, one, I just wasn't connecting with it at all.
You weren't vibing.
One of the biggest issues I had with the game, outside of the frame rate, which I didn't like it. Is I hate deserts in games. I hate them. That and being underwater in games is typically just instant. I'm unattracted to the prospect of it. So
it's kind of an anti-Chevy game. It's a desert. It's got weird frame rate. Cell shaded. I know certain games don't
on that either.
Yeah. So sometimes it looks great, but other times it's a little generic. And then even though I don't think this game is generic looking,
I would not say that.
It's got
definitely has
distinct art style that I at first didn't like, and then I slowly started to like it. And then it's freeform, you just go wherever.
So I guess I'll just kind of end it with, I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't think I'm the person it was intended for. So but it kind of just scratched all the wrong parts of my brain. And I was pretty put off by it. So,
so I played this. I started thinking the exact same way you did. My first thought when I was playing this game was this a college project that somebody worked on? And it's better than what I've done. I haven't made no fucking games. But, for a second I was like, this just kind of feels like a project. Somebody really didn't have a vision. They just were make a game. Yeah, I'll fucking make a game. I got to pass whatever test I'm trying to pass creating a game, and they made this. That might sound a little harsh the way I'm putting that, but slowly that opinion left. So I only bring it up because as I played it, I started appreciating the game more than I originally did. The art style is very simplistic, and at first I thought it's just easier. Like, you're trying to make a game. Don't spend a lot of time on the textures. Don't spend a lot of time on all this and that. Just, get some basic geometry out there and be done with it. But it does, after a while, with like the music and the environment, feel definitely obviously intended, but like it started to work for me. The frame rate thing, I don't know why they do it. Maybe it's revealed at the end. Maybe there's like an overall message there. I see a lot of people when they're talking about this game saying that the coming of age journey of the game isn't just that character, it's you yourself. I don't know, I didn't feel that, but maybe when you beat the game you feel that.
Man, maybe that didn't resonate with me.
Well, I never play games and think about myself in it. I disconnect myself from the game completely. I don't even make myself in games typically. I try to make original characters I think would exist in that world. Let's see. Yeah, but the frame rate thing's interesting. And at first it was very jarring for sure. Like I said, I would be looking at my character, then look at the world. I'm like, is it lagging? And then like everything else is moving smooth. I'm like, oh, okay, no, that's just how it is. But eventually I wasn't noticing anymore. It's like you play it long. It's like when you play 60 frames per second, you drop down to 30 to get the better graphics on like a console game. At first you're like, is this fucking lagging? We played games like this. What the hell? But then like after like 20, 30 minutes, you don't even notice it anymore. It's become smooth again. It's really fucking weird. It kind of felt like that, except for this is definitely not 30 frames per second. This character's moving at. It's like fucking 21 or something, 22. I don't know. But it's interesting. I'd like to know more info on that. If you happen to be a dev on this game and you're somehow watching this episode, because this has happened before on this channel, very weird.
Oddly, yeah.
If you want to explain why you guys decided to do that, I would love to hear. Yeah, it's weird. Like, oh, we work on this game. This is why we did that. I'm like, oh, I think it's Wild Hearts.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're explaining to us in the comments. I was like, whoa, how'd you find this video? This is a secret. You're not supposed to know about us. Yeah, so the exploration's very simplistic, very minimal, but I do like the climbing mechanic because you start losing stamina as you're trying to climb things. So there is a little bit of a challenge to that, even though it's very basic platforming. The levitating around in the orb also adds a little bit of element to that, and it makes me kind of want to keep playing the game because you do start getting tools to make your exploration easier and better, and so that was a little entertaining for me. Finding the objectives to build your ship in the beginning of the game was pretty simplistic, but there are like little chests in like secret areas too, so there is a reason to actually explore the map, and I appreciate that. There's also it's also in the beginning area because I don't really want to talk about beyond the title screen. There was like a mission where you have to like lure these little dudes and capture them, which I thought was kind of interesting. So there's like there's not just like basic tasks of going and finding things. You actually have to like change it up a bit every once in a while. So I kind of liked that. Yeah, the world is kind of interesting. I don't quite understand what was happening in the story, but I kind of grasp it. I feel like it's a game you got to play further into though to like reveal the grander idea behind it. So if I continue playing it, that's a big if. We'll see. Because it does kind of have like I didn't want to play it first, but then when I started playing it, I was actually like kind of not hooked, but it was satisfying me in a weird way. And so if I do force myself to start playing it again, I can see myself continuing playing it, because I was kind of in your boat earlier on when I was playing it and going like, I get it. You run around, you collect shit, whatever. But then like I kept playing it, like I found myself not even thinking about that I have to play it, but that I was just playing it. And so that's a good thing. I broke the game. There's a temple you got to go into in like the beginning, and I don't think you're supposed to be able to get your vehicle into the temple, but I did. And so I drove up a wall and did some X game shit, and then drove into the temple with the vehicle. When you go into the temple, a cutscene starts. And so you can kind of tell, like, maybe they didn't think about this scenario happening, or why the fuck would some idiot drive a vehicle in here? You're not supposed to be up here with the vehicle, but I did. So I drove in, and as soon as the cutscene started, I just saw that part, and then all of a sudden, my camera, you guys probably, I hope I got the footage, it teleports out to the desert after the cutscene and just shows my vehicle and not my character. And I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like jumping around trying to figure out what's going on. And then eventually the camera flies to me in the temple, and I think I could jump up and down, but that's it. I couldn't move. I could move my camera though. And I was just stuck in place. And I was like, I tried for like, I think 10 minutes trying to get it like loose. Cause I was like, this is pretty bad if I'm just stuck here. Hopefully when I reload the game, I won't be stuck here forever. Cause if I am, that's going to make me have to dock the game quite a bit. And I'm probably not going to play it afterwards. But yeah, when I reloaded my game, I started outside of the temple again. And entered yet, and I decided not to bring the vehicle with me this time and continue the game from there. And in there, you have to do like this whole puzzle thing. But yeah, worth mentioning that just every once in a while in my brain when I play games, I'm like, can I do this? Can I do that? Josh used to watch, like, when I'd play a game in front of him, he would watch me and I'd just do like weird shit. He's like, what are you doing? You're gonna die. I'm like, I just want to see if this, like, what happens.
Yeah.
It's like the tech side of my brain. Like, somebody made this game. What can I get away with? What can I do?
I mean, that's what they hire playtesters for.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I can never do that. But I do it afterwards.
That'd be monotonous.
Yeah, it would ruin games for me. But, in my own leisure, I'm like, what happens if I do this? And then I die. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I just move on with my life. So, yeah, I was like, let's get the vehicle in there. I did it. So as soon as I almost did, I was like, I'm pretty sure we can do this. Just like there was a cliffside, I almost got up and over. I was like, can I get over this? I don't think I'm supposed to. I'm going to try. I couldn't. So I didn't. Yeah, overall, though, Sable is a relaxing, decent adventure game that I don't think I got the full grasp of yet, but from what I've got so far, I think it's pretty decent. I did start out not liking it a whole lot, and it slowly became like an okay game. So I could see myself maybe playing it some more. But we'll see, because you guys know me, my prioritization on the games I want to play, this is not in the top 20. So we'll see. Maybe I'll just feel it one day and do it. So, but yeah, overall, it was okay. It was okay. Let's jump into recommendations.
Okay.
If you like journey style games, I would recommend it to you. It is not just point A to point B moving forward type journey style games, but it is a audio visual experience. It is an adventure that you the enjoyment is taking it in. There's a little bit of slight problem solving, but it's very basic. It's all about the adventure. And so if those kind of games typically resonate with you, you should check this one out. If you like unique art style indie games, I would recommend it to you. It definitely has one. It's very interesting. I think it grows on you over time. If you like exploration games, if you like games where you want to like explore every nook and cranny and be rewarded for it, this game isn't heavy in it, but it does have some stuff. I would find a crate in a bush, or like go around a corner in a canyon and find something. And so at least they didn't just make a map, and then when you actually explore their map, there's like, there's nothing down here, dude. What are you wasting time for? It's like, well, why'd you fucking build it then? This game doesn't do that, so I appreciate that, especially for an indie game. It's nice to see that. I feel like platformers. There's no action in this, as far as I know, but it is a platformer. You are jumping around, you are climbing things, you are floating across things, you're driving vehicles into temples.
Yep, everyone's doing that one.
Yeah. And if that sounds fun to you. Also, quick reminder, recommendation as well. It's a relaxing game. It's a low stress game. Because there is no combat in it, I think a lot of people, if the visual style works for them, could enjoy this, because just like PowerWash Simulator, I think this would be like a good after school. I don't know. I'm so far away from that. But you had a long day at work. You want to play something, but you don't really think really hard about shit, or you're not feeling the most competitive. This is a really good game to just kind of like relax and play. So, yeah. Recommendations? You like deserts?
Some people do. Some people willingly move to them. So
yeah, I get some of that. But when people are like, the desert's beautiful, I'm like, yeah, not in like a weird way, but not really. But yeah,
we live around trees, so
yeah, we got trees, hills, mountains.
It tastes a little different, apparently.
Water.
I don't think I really have anything to add. I think you pretty much covered it. I was just going to generically say adventure games, but you kind of encompassed that with more specifics. So
yeah, I wanted to be useful because it's kind of hard. to think about who to recommend this to, but I think there's definitely people who will be into it. Who went impressions first? You. So I'll grade it. Oh man. I like it, but I'm not like into it or love it, but I appreciate it. So I don't want to dock it points, but it's also kind of minimal and like, I don't know, man. Fucking. I'm gonna give it a really, really strong. This is gonna sound fucked up, especially if you like this game, but I'm gonna give it a really strong C plus. I can't give it B because like it in gameplay isn't super strong, and to compensate for that, you would need a visual audio experience that I think is like really stands out. And this one is good, but it's not like amazing. So yeah, it passes for sure. But and I might play it further. And it might go up. I almost gave it a B minus, but yeah, it's fine. It's good, but I think things could be improved upon it. But again, coming from a person who didn't beat the game, so
yeah. Personal biases aside on it, the game plays fine. Like, it is a functioning game, though I do think it is, and this is hard to remove myself from, but I do think it is a little underwhelming in hooking in the beginning. So I'm going to give it a C minus because I do think it is a functioning game, and I didn't have any actual issues with it outside of preferences. So, but I also think it's important to recognize that if a game can't grab you, that it's failing in some way. So yeah, C minus.
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing about it is like for somebody who's not going to sit there and just really force themselves to play it to see if it does get better or not. I think a lot of people would probably, this game's either going to be work for you or it's not. And the people it's not going to work for, they're not going to keep playing to see if it does eventually work for them. And I did because, I know I have to review it at the end of the month and talk about my experience. But a lot of people I would suspect aren't going to continue playing this. But the people who did continue to play it, it seems like they really dug what they're offering here. So, but yeah, it doesn't have a lot to invest in early on. And so it's, I think it could be improved basically. So not really a strong criticism of it. Just, it's kind of an fully utilized canvas that needs more, I think, possibly. C minus, C plus, almost a B minus. I do want to go up into the B section, so maybe I should play it some more and find out. But let's know in the comments what you guys think of Sable. Did you like it? Did you not like it? If you did like it, 2 questions. What did you like about it? Secondly, without spoiling anything for me, does it get better and better and better as you play it? I need to know that. But yeah, if you didn't play it, why didn't you play it? And if you did play it, what did you think of it? And what are some of your favorite things about it? And yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Plus Club. So always thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on our socials and streams, link down below. Check us out on our Discord, link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, or the podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us in audio form. We have a Patreon if you'd like to support the channel more than liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you're brand new. And I have a TikTok link down below if you like to watch my shorts. Otherwise, I upload some here on YouTube, but I have some limitations, so I can't do all of them here. And we just hit 10K over on TikTok. So if you're over there, thank you for the support on that platform. And yeah, I've been Seth. This has been Chevy. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Hopefully 2024 is better than 2023 for you, and things just get better and better and better for you. But until the next episode, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.